Hello guys, welcome to this series of classes on philosophy and logic. If you are new here or this classes has been beneficial to you and you've not subscribed, it means you are saying I'm not grateful. If you're actually grateful, just go press the subscription button, and it is just a way of saying I appreciate. Take note that you're not paying. There's a bell at the beneath surface. Just press it and subscribe so that we get feedback from you, and anytime a video drop, you are informed. Are you with me? In this series of classes, I'll be teaching philosophy and logic, and the classes are going to be beneficial and productive to you. At the end of the day, the course will look so cheap. Quickly, follow me, let's go. In this class, I'll focus on what we call the meaning as well as the branches of philosophy. The question is, what is philosophy? I'll start by telling you that the term philosophy originates from two Greek words. The first word is what we call your philien and your sophia. The word philien and sophia means philien, love, and sophia meaning what? Wisdom. That is, if we want to define philosophy, we simply say that philosophy means the love of wisdom. We say that it is gotten from two Greek words, the philien meaning love and sophia meaning what? Wisdom. Now, if we want to combine these two words together, we can say philien sophia or philosophia. Are you with me? Now, take note that this definition was attributed to a Greek philosopher called Pythagoras or Somas. Of course, he's a philosopher and he's also a mathematician. Now, let me give you a mental picture so that you can appreciate him. This is the great Pythagoras of Somas. Namaste, namaste, namaste. He was the one that introduced the term philosophy. Now, take note that we have different definitions of philosophy, but one of the definitions we also recognize is called the definition given by the Collins English Dictionary, which defines philosophy as a study or creation of theories about basic things such as nature of existence, your knowledge, thoughts, or about how people should live their life. This study or the creation of, let's say, okay, how did this thing come about? How was this first reasoning brought about? When we study or the creation of these theories that brought about the nature of existence, what result to knowledge, and what talk about how people should live, we are defining what philosophy. Take note, we said that philosophy is gotten from two words, your philien and your sophia. Your philien meaning what? Meaning love, and your sophia meaning what? Wisdom. The love of wisdom is called what? Philosophy. If you say you understand that quickly, let's now go further to talk about what are the branches of philosophy. Now, historically, there are about 5 branches of what? Philosophy, which include, number 1, we have what we call your aesthetics, which talk about your beauty. We want to talk about them. Number 2, talk about your what? Ethics. We'll talk about ethics. Number 3, we'll talk about your what? Metaphysics. That talk about abstract learning. Number 4, we're going to talk about what? Epistemology. And number 5 is talk about what? Logic. These are the 5 traditional branches of what? Philosophy. What are they? Aesthetics, ethics, metaphysics, epistemology, and logic. For the last time, aesthetics, ethics, metaphysics, epistemology, and logic. Now, let's take them one after the other. Remember that this class is an introductory class, so let's have a knowledge of what each and all of them is. Let's start with the first guy, aesthetics. The word aesthetics is the branch of philosophy that borders on the appreciation of beauty. Now, hold on. I know what you'll be thinking. You'll be thinking, or is it that aesthetics talk about beauty? But the beauty we are talking is not the natural beauty you see a guy, this guy is beautiful. You see a guy, say, man, this guy is handsome. Hope you know some guys are beautiful. I'm just kidding. Now, when we talk about beauty, we are not concerned about the physical outlook or the beauty of an object. It transcends beyond that. It tends to explain, when you see a particular image, what is your judgment? Now, let me give you a mental picture. For example, this you see is called the symbol for law and justice. What can you see? You can see a truth being balanced. The truth being balanced there explains that before you pass your judgment, ensure you weigh the two sides. So when you see a particular beauty and you can describe meaning to it, that aspect of philosophy that borders the appreciation of beauty that brings about judgment is what we call your what? Aesthetics. For example, every discipline has a symbol. If you go to microbiology, there's a symbol for microbiology trying to show Anton Evaluel, who is the father of microbiology. You see him on the microscope. If you go to different disciplines, have different symbol. For example, medicine has two snakes rounded on a rod. This was first said by Hermes. So every discipline has their own symbol. So when we talk about appreciating the beauty from the judgment, we can see that, I mean, placing judgment from the beauty we are seeing. That aspect of philosophy is what we call your word aesthetics. Hope you understand. It is not literally physical beauty. It stands for giving judgment from things you see. It may be color. You know what the green in Nigerian flag stands for, or the green in different color. When you see yellow, when you see white, when you see green, these are colors. They speaks of judgment of a particular incident. Maybe you are driving and you see a bend. You should know you see a symbol showing a bend, or you see like a bomb signal. I should tell you that, okay, there's a bomb ahead or there's a bend ahead. These are what we call appreciating the beauty by giving judgment. What we call your word aesthetics. Now, the next branch of philosophy we're going to talk about is what we call your word ethics. Ethics talks about the standards of conduct, actions, and behavior. Now, let me explain this to you. Every discipline has their conduct. Every discipline you see have their conduct. For example, let me use medically, for example, we have what we call the rule of conduct. In the sense that it is when you go against this conduct, you can be say, should I say, you can lose your license, or you can be punished based on the conduct rule. The conduct of a footballer is different from the conduct of a boxer. Are you with me? In football, when your hand touches the ball in the 18-yard box, it's called a penalty. In boxing, there are different conducts. Okay, let me also give a mental picture. Let's say, for example, in medicine, there's what we call the patient right. For example, a patient can sue you for battery. What's battery? Battery is illegal, should I say, touching the patient without taking permission. It's called battery. So you can be sued for that. How do you know that there is a law that guides it? It is based on the conduct of that profession. We call it ethics. So what is ethics? It is the study of the standard of conduct or action or behavior as a judge to what is right or wrong for a particular field. Are you with me? You can explain how the way a lawyer behaves should be different from the way a medical doctor behaves. Why? Because of their ethics. Are you with me? When I talk about their behavior, I'm talking of how they carry out their profession. Now, the next thing you should talk about is what we call your metaphysics. It is a branch of philosophy that deals with the study of being and existence. In fact, metaphysics studies abstract things beyond the physical. So it is also defined as the study of reality, being or existence. It is beyond the realm you can see and touch. So the aspect of philosophy that explains, how do you explain this? How was man formed? You know, there are different schools of thought that man was formed by God. Another school of thought believe that man was formed from first organic compounds, such as your water, your oxygen, your methane. So there are different beliefs. So when you study the branch of philosophy that has to do with abstract entities, does ghost exist? Does this exist? We are talking about what metaphysics. It goes beyond what you can see and what touch. It is concerned itself with what ultimate reality. Please take note about this. Now, the next aspect of philosophy we're going to talk about is what we call epistemology. It is simply the branch of philosophy that deals with the theories of knowledge. In fact, the word epistemology is gotten from two words: epistem, which means knowledge, and logos, meaning study. Are you with me? So epistemology is the branch of philosophy that deals with the theories of knowledge. Now, the next one we're going to talk about, which is the fifth one, we've talked about aesthetics, we've talked about ethics, we've talked about epistemology, we've talked about metaphysics. Let's wrap the fifth one by talking about logic. Logic is the branch of philosophy that deals with reasoning. The branch of philosophy that deals with reasoning is called logic. And taking that logic is gotten from the Greek word logos, meaning study or meaning word. When we talk about word, reasoning, study, we are talking about your logic. What is it? Logic. It is a branch of philosophy that study reasoning. Now, under this, there are three deductive reasoning, we can say. At least there are 3 types of logical reasoning. Number 1, we have what we call the deductive reasoning. Number 2, we have what we call the inductive reasoning. And number 3, we have what we call the abductive reasoning. What are the 3 types of reasoning from logic? We said that logic means reasoning. So we have what we call the deductive, the inductive, and the word abductive. Now let's give a mental picture. We're going to discuss them further when we get to your logic proper. But let's just give a simple meaning. What do we mean by a deductive word reasoning? This is a type of reasoning in which the truth of the premise and conclusion is a necessity. Please hold 2 words here. The first word there is the premise, and the second word is the conclusion. It's a type of reasoning where the premise and the conclusion tally. They are of necessity. If they tally, the premise and the conclusion tally, we said it is called a deductive reasoning. Now, let me give you for example. Let's say that all men are mortal. Now, I now went for that to say that Ben is a man. Hence, I can say that Ben is mortal. Please understand it. It is a type, it's a truth where the premise and the conclusion are of necessity. That means they correlate. In as far all men is mortal and Ben is a man, hence we can say that Ben is what is mortal. Are you with me? Are you with me? So when you give such reasoning, you are trying to give it deductive reasoning. Now, I want you to calm down. Can you think of such reasoning, any reasoning that comes to your mind that we can say it is a deductive reasoning? But I'm giving you an example now. We say all men are mortal and Ben is a man. So automatically Ben is what? Mortal. Now, the other type of reasoning is what to call your what? Inductive reasoning. This is a reasoning in which the premise and the conclusion is not of necessity but of probability. Look here, the premise and the conclusion are not of necessity. Rather, they are of what? Probability. That means what we are trying to say that the premise and the conclusion are not of necessity. They are just based on probability. It means that it is not totally correct. It is just based on probability. Now, let me give you a mental picture of that. Basi is a student and a Nigerian. Understand that? Basi is a student and is also a what? A Nigerian. Now look at it now. John is a student and a Nigerian. Now, does that now make us say, okay, Akpan is a student and a Nigerian? Now, can we now conclude and say that therefore all students are Nigerian? No. In Nigeria, not everybody are students. Some are workers. Some are not workers. Are you with me? Some are health workers. They are different. Some belong to the military and so on and so forth. But you are basing your premise, your conclusion, based on the premise. What premise is that? Basi is a student and is in Nigeria. You also heard that John is a student and is in Nigeria. You also heard that Akpan is a student and is in Nigeria. You now say that all students are Nigerian. No. Take note that some Nigerians are not students because the premise and the conclusion are not of necessity. It is based on probability. It is said to be called an inductive reason. I'm going to talk about this in front, but take note about that. The next one we're going to talk about is what we call your abductive reasoning. It is simply based on observation. In other words, the conclusion was based on observation in terms of after seeing the premise and seeing the conclusion, you just gave your result based on what you've seen. Are you in? Not on necessity, not on probability, but just based on what you've seen. For example, all eggs in this crate are bad. Now, you say that the eggs in the crate are bad. You now say that this egg, you see another set of eggs. Maybe somebody brought another set of eggs and these eggs are bad. You now went for that to say that these eggs are from that crate. I'll take that again. You first of all, there was eggs in a crate and those eggs in that crate were bad. Now, another eggs were brought to you and they say that these eggs are bad. You now say that these eggs are from that crate or from this crate. It means that your observation, because they were bad, you are judging it based on that crate that you found that the eggs were bad. All eggs in this crate are bad. These eggs are bad, therefore the eggs are from what? This crate. Such reasoning from what observation is what we call your what abductive reasoning. We can also say that abductive reasoning is a type of inductive reasoning. I'm going to throw more light on that when we get to logic. Are you with me? I hope you understand the class. Now let me give you an assignment. What type of reasoning will be this? Let's say, for example, I decide to say that God is love. God is love. And I'll go further to tell you that love is blind. And I now say God is love, love is blind. And I now said God is blind. What type of reasoning is this? I'm not saying God is blind. I'm just telling you God is love and love is blind. Therefore, God is blind. I'll see you in my next class where we'll be talking about the eras of philosophy. In this class, we just introduce the term philosophy and logic. I hope the class blesses you. I'll see you in the next class. If you have not subscribed, click the subscription button. See you in the next class.